Officers heading back into Charlottesville schools means a new responsibility on the police's plate. Maggie Glass sat down with Police Chief Michael Kochis to ask how SROs will affect his department. She's live in the newsroom with our top story at 5. Maggie.
Aaron, Chief Kochis told me he gets asked all the time when officers will be back in the schools. Well, ultimately, it will be his responsibility to find the right people for the job. He says these early choices about SROs are up to the school division.
The decision to put officers back into schools is the school board's policy decision and their policy decision alone.
Now that the school board has made that decision, the process begins with the police department coming up with a plan to make it work.
But that work group's going to have to include not only members of the police department, but folks from the schools. I envision having someone from the school board on that, maybe someone from the community. Whatever model we develop in the area of SROs needs to be unique to Charlottesville.
After that's created, the money for the officers will need to be found. It's a fiscal responsibility Kochis says the school division will have to work out in its annual budget request to the city.
It all comes from the same pot, one way or the other.
The chief would not speculate about an exact cost, but figures he presented to the school board a year ago put the one-time hiring cost for 3 officers at $571,000 and then $340,000 each year moving forward. There's also the question of how the police department will fill the resource officer roles.
We don't know how many officers we're going to need because that model is going to determine that.
Kochis says he understands the public concerns about officers being back inside the schools, but adds there's a benefit in seeing a familiar face associated with a badge.
I think relationships matter. Relationships at an early age matter as well.
A memorandum of understanding is expected to be presented to the school board by next October. Live in the newsroom, Maggie Glass, 29 News at 5.